Hi there, I'm going to be showing a quick demo of how to use the new version of LKS QuadGrab. So what is the point of this? Really quickly, it is meant to be a replacement for ZBrush's GrabDoc in Blender. So Blender doesn't have an easy way to grab alphas or maps from the viewport, so I made this tool for that. It's meant to basically be one-click solution. So I will make a QuadGrab plane that fits a little plane around the selected object. By default, it fits it from the top, and we can click QuadGrab, and if we wait a couple seconds, it's going to make some textures for us. So I've enabled Z, a unitized EXR, and a raw EXR, and also PBR maps. So that'll dump out these different textures here that are the normals and the different PBR maps from this object. So it's actually a little bit further in ZBrush's here. If I use create preview plane, then I can refit it to another object, and I can use QuadGrab again, and it's going to make me a plane that has a preview material on it, all of those maps plugged in. If I reload this and I scroll down here, we can see that it's produced all of those maps. So it also has a couple more settings. One is that if you turn on the view mode, you can then rotate your view around. So I'll try it with a more interesting object. But if I rotate my view, and I use fit to selection, it's gonna try to fit this object to that. So a couple more things. This captures depth maps, and usually with depth maps you want to be able to control where the midpoint is. So as long as you're using EXR, it doesn't matter too much, but whenever you're trying to capture alphas for sculpting, sometimes where the midpoint is matters. So for that, I put this option depth 0 offset. So this is a unitized value between 0, which is the near plane, and 1, which is the far plane. And basically, however you slide this is going to be the midpoint texture. So I'll just put that at 0.5, and I'll use QuadGrab again. And we can see that it's captured all of the PBR maps for this object. If I reload this, we can see that it's captured them all one-to-one and dumped them out to that folder. Okay, so let's say that I wanted to make a hard surface alpha sculpting with. So this is a piece from the, well, these are pieces from the Jonas Wintergaard kit. So you would do the same thing, where you would go make QuadGrab plane, but this is where the midpoint comes in useful. Okay, so when you're sculpting, if you want the alpha to only pop out of your sculpt, that's when you would want to set the midpoint to 1. So when the midpoint is 1, it only will ever pop out. If it's 0.5, it'll half sink in, so this part will be punched in and the other part will be punched out. And if it's set to 0, then this whole shape will be maintained, but it's only going to be punched in here. So you'll see this as kind of an indent. So let's try that out. I'm going to use... So in this case, I'm going to try clicking this button. This one is a bit janky because they changed the API a whole lot in Blender 5.1, which is what this is using. But this should try to load the height map stamp directly into my brush. So if I go back to this thing, sci-fi guy had a sculpt, I should have a stamp. And so you can see that it is currently stamping in. So if I wanted to make it stamp out, I could set this to 1, click it again, and now it will stamp out. So that's where the midpoint comes in handy. So just one more time, you can see here's another piece. I'll use make plane, check its midpoint. Let's set it to something a bit different. So just kind of shaving the bottom off a little bit, and I'll put on the brush. Okay, last but not least is capturing organic alphas. So one thing that can be pretty hard about capturing organic alphas is just that you don't know exactly where to capture the sculpt from, because the clipping planes, anything under the clipping plane is going to be pushed in, anything out of the clipping plane is going to be pushed out. So on this sort of thing, you probably want to make it small enough so that it is not really overhanging stuff too much. And you want to move the clipping plane so that it's covering, it's mostly going out, or sorry, mostly going in, but with a little bit of out. And then, so this is, we can preview how it looks here. And we'll try using the QuadGrab ZBrush. And here is the texture that it sampled. So ultimately I want to make this a texture painting thing as well. Because it captures all the PBR stuff, we should be able to just basically stamp it around, but I haven't gotten that far yet. So if we go to Sculpt, it's updated the texture. Now we have this rock alpha hardness. That's what's happening. There we go. So whenever you turn your hardness down, you can start basically just stamping these rocky alphas around. And if you wanted to get artsy with it, you could, you know, hammer some of these corners and make it a bit more planar and interesting and not just like a sort of a gray turd looking thing. But yeah, this is how you use it on here. And then last but not least, you can also use it to capture finer details. So again, I'm just going to use cleanup, make another one, fit the selection, reduce it. I'm going to try to find a good plane that sort of nicely intersects with a lot of this gravel. Because when you're making a height map, usually that's what you want. You want it to almost look like it's water filling up the cracks. Okay, so we're clipping a little bit there. So I'm just going to move it up a bit so that we don't get any clipping at the top. I'll move this down so the midpoint is sort of like a water level. Lower bit there, and I'm going to use capture to alpha again. And notice that I'm being careful not to get over the edges. It's not the end of the world if you do, it's just that sometimes that can make spikes. Okay, and then let's go over here, sculpt, and we get some pretty easy detail. And okay, so yeah, that is in a nutshell all the different ways that you can use QuadGrab. Happy Z grabbing.